Hello everyone, good morning. I will be doing just a really short stream today, around maybe 30 minutes. And I will do in English because I see from my start that most people is just coming here at this time is just from USA or even not being Spanish. So in case that you are just watching this video and you are Spanish, you can just speak Spanish also during the stream. Just let me know, just say hello and I will be just talking Spanish. Otherwise, I will just use English. In case that some of you is also speaking Russian, just also let me know. So I will be just checking again all the things that I have been doing during this time. I know that it's not a new building, a new release for a long time already. I just working on the grass. I'm changing a lot of things, and most of the level is visually is completely broken, so I cannot make a new build until I have finished all of this. So one thing that I have been doing is changing the landscape texture shader, so it's just introducing more variation, which is just also introducing more performance cost, but I'm trying to do better grass, so I hope that paying grass over this one is not really impacting a lot. Mm. Also, I don't think that is really bad. As you see, it's a bit harder to render, so it's worse performance as before. Just the landscape terrain. I will try also to improve later, but well, the thing is, just I was just changing this landscape terrain with a new grass, as you see here, different grass. So after that, I need to change also the grass to match with the landscape. So I was just also planning to create a new better grass because I have some problem with popping all the time. Also the color is not going well, the distance is not matching well. So and for example the mechanic that I have just collecting stones or wood or any resource from the forest is being bad, because with this old grass it's really hard to check this one to see them, and it's not a pleasure just looking for things. So I was just trying to do some grass that is much easier to see, as you see for example here, matching better with the terrain, so you are just walking and it's easier and also look nicer than it was before. They can just load later the main level, as you can see both of them. So I have the old grass and the new grass, and you can just check between them, and also I can explain all the problems they have with the old one. So I was just creating a new one, try to solve all the problems. So this is more or less that the grass I have at the moment. Here it's not playing so well because it's just playing. Also there is no variation between them, no trees or anything like that. So I will just load later the level and see how much better it is just comparing with this one. One thing that they have is just different textures from the landscape with different colors, so it's just merging both of them. As you see, it is darker and it's lighter. So what I'm trying to do is also matching the grass with the same landscape color. So as you see, for example, here the grass is a bit lighter comparing with this one, it's a bit darker. So it's just also introducing some variation with the landscape and also with the grass altogether. So it makes make this one a bit nicer as it was before, because I don't have much variation on the landscape before. So uh, now the grass is nicer and also have a better performance, and I can just for example paint here like almost not painting, so I have only patches and some holes, let's say, in the grass, and it's not really impacting a lot. And the another one is you can see a lot all those patches not here. So I was also improving the popping when you are just going closer or far. As you can see, there's no popping, it's more or less seamless all of them, so that's good. Another thing that I was doing with the grass is just creating another two different from this one with different colors. I mean, for matching with the, for example, with the trails that I have. This one is not perfect, but I was just trying a few things. As you can see, for example, here there are some of them that are lighter, so just better matching with the trail. So I'm using like a green one, something in the middle with also half size, and also small one which is really matching with the ground, with the trail that I have this smooth texture. So this is like going like a small gradient, so it's easier to match them. And also this one, the green one, is a big patch, I just painted like 5 of them, just paint faster and so on. But this one is small, playing only one, so it's much easier to adjust to them, the border. which is not big or smaller. The old one is the same path, so it's really hard to adjust to the border, and this one is much easier also if you are painting, for example, as this one almost in the trail. You cannot set this one, which is perfectly fine. So it's much easier to adjust all the borders, being nicer, more natural, and you are not really seeing the borders with this one. So this is one of the things that I was just solving with popping, and also being nicer adjusting to the trails. Another thing that I was doing is, for example, creating new poppets. This is a flower, and I was also creating like 3D model. In the past I was using only planes, but now I'm using models, which is made nicer, also having a few lots and deleting during the distance, so it's much nicer. I will create all the flags that I have as a 3D model instead of planes that I have. As you can see here, for example, this is the old one, which is just plain. It was matching better with the old grass, but this one is much nicer and also matching with the new one. So there's something different. I'm also working on different flowers, but it's not finished. I will show later. So this how the grass is changing, so I was also adapting the distance and the distance for flowers, and I will just show you here the main level with all of them. So I will just load this main level, and you can see how well it's just matching this one with the terrain. Also the terrain have these variations, so from the distance you can see. Let's make this one bigger, pencil there, this there. I think I will just remove the chat. Okay, it's just easier to see all the landscape. So I have, at the moment I have, let's say, both of them in the level, so I'm just checking or comparing with them. So this one is the new one, as you see. This is matching very well with the trees, and also with the level is working well, more natural. And also, as you can see from the borders, that's almost nothing. Even you can see here, not much, there are just some grass, as you see with planes that have few one here. And also, for example, from this area, as you can see in the level, this is not really more visible until you are almost there. So this is matching well, and yeah, having better performance. So you have like grass, and all the borders with the grass is not really cutting like it was in the past. And I can see, for example, another one that I have from this one, from the old one. As you can see, for example, that it's hard to match with the border because it's a big patch. Also, as you can see, is you can see very well the planes that they have in the grass, as you can see here. And also, for example, the popping all the time. Check here. As you can see, it's just popping the border because using a big patch is hard. It's just removing to big one, but being in the border you can see very well. Even if you have some areas like this one, of course this old grass is not matching well with the new landscape texture, but you can see the patches here not working well. If I'm just checking again with the new one, you can see that is matching much better, and also the light. And maybe I don't have here, but anyway, if I have just part, for example this part has no grass at all, you can see here like a hole, but it's working well. It's not the same as in the one that you can see here. And also, for example, checking about the popping on the border, there is nothing here also. So there is no popping from the border of the trails, but for example checking here you can see popping all the time. So check here, for example, you can see popping all the time. This is just coming. So with the new one you don't have this one anymore, so it's just better. As you can see, it's not popping. Okay, so I will replace all those old flowers with the new models. So I was also trying to replace, for example, here I will just remove the trees to see better only the grass. So as you can see here, there is already grass, so just removing There's not really even popping vein from the distance. I need to adjust a bit better the color with the terrain, but as you see, not really popping from the terrain. If you check, for example, from the old one, let's go here, for example. Of course, the terrain is not matching well, but as you see, for example, here it's just saying really where you have grass or not, even being closer, should be just painting, as you see, the holes painting. But it's not happening with the new one. Go there. So all this area, as you can see, this is just coming the grass. Not purpling at all with the new one. And even if I'm just using the trees, it's almost impossible to see where the grass is coming. All the flowers are old one, really messing. As you see, for example, here the new forest is matching very well with the trees. Or for example, even this part I didn't finish to work on this one. This is only the big part and not the smallest one. But you can see how different it is from this area and this one. The same trees and everything like that. So let's say even not finished, because you can see here it's not finished, but this is the new one and this is the old one, completely different. I need to add, for example, the variation for the breeze here that I have. So even like a different grass here, also to introduce more variation, because at the moment it's of course so plain, but at least it's much natural and much better, as you see, comparing with this one. This one I think is much nicer. So I will be just replacing all the grass from the map with the new grass, and also creating new flowers to replace all of them to have more better environment. Also, I will be working on this one. I was working already on pebbles that I have like two different variation and different size. I was also reducing the number of triangles, adding more lots to have more distance, and for example making this sharp edge that is just like stones. So there are a few things that I'm just improving, but you cannot really see this one. Even this version is working with Unreal 4.23, which is just early Zeta Pass working again. That was not working in the 4.22. So I have having better performance than I was in the last version. And right now it's working like 15%, between 10 and 20% better than it was in the last version. So even having like better grass, even it's just working with better performance than the old one. Let's wait for the shaders here. So this one, as you can see, this is the performance for the old grass. Let's move to the new one, and you can see the new one is a bit better. And I have also master materials with a lot of parameters that I can just improve or reuse for example the flowers and so on. So even the workflow is being faster, because I have like master material I only reusing, instancing, so I can just change values and not really recompiling all of them. So here you can see that the performance for the new one is a bit better than the old one, and also it's like much less painting, so it's less grass but looking nicer, and also with better performance. So in the end I hope that the new grass is giving me even better performance than the old one, even being nicer. And for example introducing those 3D models is also working well, because in the past I was using this one. This is just a plane, but I have a lot of triangles to use, for example the wind, and also having this camera and so on. So in the end this new 3D they have even less triangles than the old one, and also they say that it's easier than this one, for example. So I've been having better models and better colors, so it's having altogether better performance. So plus this last version, I don't think that people is even having any problem at the moment, so maybe in the future will be even less. So yeah, I will also try to add with this margin that I have now, adding for example more triangles on trees to make nicer, because right now they are okay but not much. So I will just try to introduce more triangles, maybe adjusting better the new texture with the grass, yeah, improving more or less all the environment, all the foliage that I have in the map. So I will try to improve all of them. So that's the reason that I cannot create a new version with let's say half of them, because the level is almost visually broken, as I said. So until I can just replace all of them and create something more or less like it was, I will not create any version. So probably I will be delaying for a couple of months already until I can just manage all of them. So that's why there is no new version on each for some time already. People that bought already, or PP or sports or anything like that, they have already, as they know, intranet with the nightly builds that I'm doing. So some of them, for example, I'm just creating nightly build for this one, even it's not completely finished, but they can just check the progress and see how the game is going, and even giving any feedback they want about the work that is being done. For example, I added the moon during the night, so they can just already check this one, even if it's not completely finished for release, but at least the nightly build put the work in progress that I'm doing. So yeah, it's, I don't really need to finish everything, because it's just people also supporting the game. They know that the game is on development, and of course they are just checking the new thing and not really having like game experience for the whole game. So it's just checking the new things, and they don't care much if something is not completely finished or even broken, but they can have nice speak about the new things that are coming. So this is the new grass, and it's working much better. And for example here I can see, let me just try to open this one. Not sure if I can just play this. I was just planning to play the game, and you can see even being not completely finished, it's much easier to find for example resource, and it's more or less pleasure just to walk around the forest, where it was in the past really bad. So was mechanic that I was just planning maybe to delete, just collecting on the forest, but I think I will skip, because now it's completely different as it was in the past. So let's try to maybe play this one. Not sure if I can just add on OBS. Maybe I need a new source, because I will just play. I don't want to play with the editor. That's just duplicating everything. But uh, playing the game, and you can see how it's just going walking on this forest, and I can just try to walk also just in front to see how different is this one, and how bad is just walking here, and much pleasure walking here, not really messing. This is matching very well, so you are just walking almost the same color, and it's not messing a lot. And also the resources are more or less hiding them, so you need to really walk close to this, but you don't really need to have just in front, in the middle of the on the grass, so you can see like a couple of meters before. And also for example the stones right now, they are so big, I will just make something smaller to match better with this grass. So changing the grass, changing the landscape color is main, just changing almost the wall level. So yeah, that's the reason it's taking longer to have new version or something that is playable. At the moment it's not working. It's just opening this one, but takes some time. Let's I will show you also some things that I was just doing. I was working on darkness inside of the houses, but when you are outside. What's happening here? I continue. Because I'm just opening the level from another file. So what I have already is a system that you are just going inside of the houses, and it's dark, let's say darker than being outside, which is expected when you have. So here I can just show you the level which is expected. This small test level which is expected is you are just going inside this darker because you have of course like a roof and also maybe windows or those that are closed, so expected to be closer inside. When you are just living, it's just changing the color. So this system is working already, and I have all the windows that is just working orienting to the sun and also time of the day. So it's just more this one lazy from the east or just the west or any window they have in the system, and the level just taking the correct lining for. Then you are just opening, you have more light. If you are just closing, you have less light inside. So all the systems working well, but the only problem is about um, lining when you are outside, because inside is just using post processing, which is fine, but being outside the problem is that lining on Unreal or any other game engine, if you are not taking really indirect illumination or RTX or any other thing like that, they are illuminating exactly the same, like here outside, less inside, and not taking care about the roof, for example, if you are not making any light. And I'm using dynamic light because it's just the whole day 24-hour cycle, so I cannot really bake the light inside or not. So that's why I'm using like a small system to put something here so you can see inside is darker than outside. Otherwise it's just exactly the same lining in both of them. Oops, let me see if this is ready. Okay, this is ready, but I think that I need to add this one on OBS. Let me add a new one. Yeah, the computer is going really slow. Okay, I think it's going. Yes. Well, until this one is ready. Okay, it's ready. So I will be just playing the game and just walking around with the new forest, and you can see how different it is comparing with the old one. Will be really slow because I have a lot of things happening. So this is like the old one. As you can see, for example, looking for resource is really not a pleasure, not much. But let's go to this forest in front. As you can see here, it's completely different. For example, you can see here the resource, but you need to be, let's say, a bit closer. Otherwise, as you see, that the grass is just hiding this one, so it's not so easy to find them. But you don't really need to do any pixel search, or just perfect fine. And having almost the same color, as you can see, it's not really messing. While the stones need to be smaller, but it's completely different looking for resource in the new forest that comparing with the old one, as you can see. So this is a mechanic that I will just keep in because it's going well, just walking around. As you can see, a lot of resource. I was just adding a lot of them because it's really hard to find them, so as you can see there's plenty of them that I will probably um, need to reduce the number of them and also make smaller stones. As you can see, it's completely different view comparing with the old one, which is really not much pleasure. Oops. Yeah, I will just close this one. It's too much. Okay, so let's um, play this one and check what the line is I was just trying to explain. I don't have much time. Well, in fact, I have 5 minutes. If this one's going well. Let me see, the last time I have some problems with Unreal not taking the window that I want to play. Let me check, be sure. Yeah, so it's working. Okay. What? Not working. I know it's working quite bad. This is not enough for 15. So one thing that you see here, for example, is going. The lighting is being darker. It's going out. As you see, this one is working, and this is exactly the same lighting inside from outside. Well, some problems here. Well, as you can see, here it's just switching on the lights, but not talking about this one. As you can see, this is exactly the same light. So just going far, you can see that it's completely dark. For example, here I have also the system working. As you see, that is being darker inside, and this is not completely finished, so you have like popping in being inside. But okay, so this is exactly the same lighting inside and outside, and you can see that it's being darker if I'm going far. So I will use this system to have all the houses dark inside even when you are outside. Also this lighting needs to be adjusted the uh, wall light cycle, so during the day, morning and evenings, and so completely different colors, and also probably taking care about the windows and doors that you have already open on the houses and so on. So yeah, this is a quite complex system with a lot of different things that I need to be take care on this, so it will take time and it's not working completely perfect also during night, or you are using the doors completely different, but the base is here and it's also working for some buildings already. So I will just work more on this to have everything working. So when I have also this one, I will just add on the game, so I knew more things that I have. I think this is more or less everything that I have been working the last time, especially the grass and the new flowers and so. So yeah, it's a lot of work now, just matching with them, probably creating different grass for different forests that I have, like for example birch, or I have oak, I have pines and so on. So I will just try to have different grass for different forests and having more variation, and also nice flowers and probably some herbs that I'm just adding to the forest also to collect. So yeah, working with the landscape lately, and also the grass and flowers and so on. So yeah, as you can see, this is a completely different visually level. So I hope that it's just improving, also improving all the performance and so on. So that's all for today, because I need to leave already. So thank you everyone for coming. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any question, as you see, you have all the links on. I will just put the links here for all the links, so you have oops, and also the links here. I was just deleting them. Okay, the links there for YouTube, Twitch, Twitter and so on. You have all the videos on YouTube later, so when you just deleting from Twitch, you just moving to YouTube, so you can just check at any time. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you also for all my supporters and people on Patreon. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.